Hello, everyone. I'm live now. Late Night Baltimore. You see all these books behind me? That's because I'm one smart MFer. Affairs will join soon, but I thought I'd get here live before the football games start today. One of those football games belongs to the Buffalo Bills, and they are not playing today because, you see, they're playing tomorrow night, snowfall. So, let me get things all set. This is what you gotta do with the live stream stuff. All right, now, let me tell you a little story about yesterday's football games. Joe Flacco was horrible in the game. He threw 2 touchdowns, but they were to the Texans and not the Browns. It was at Texans, and this podcast told you that Stroud would be the better of the choices on the first round, but in fairness to Bryce Young, he hasn't really played. But here's a few observations about what I did see in that game. I saw Joe Flacco looking awful and having a tough time of it. We all still love Joe, but he was having difficulty there in Texas. And he threw 2 interceptions for touchdowns. But he had a great season, and he's a good guy. You won't get anyone here from this podcast ever saying anything negative about the old boy. Joe Flacco. Yeah. We all love us some Joe, but they're gone. Texas moves on. Not sure where. One of the football games was postponed until tomorrow night. I believe that's the Bills game, and that's going to be on Monday. I'm not sure night, but it's Monday. This evening at 4:30, I believe the Packers are playing, and that's going to be against the Cowboys, I think, and that's going to be a good game. That's going to be a great game. Yeah. Also, I believe the Rams and Detroit game is still on. The Packers Dallas game, last I heard, that it was Dallas was favored, but 50 points was the over under. I take the over on that one. I don't know what's going to happen on the Bills game on Monday, but the over under on that was extremely low, like at 34. That's got to be extremely low, especially when you think the Bills are going to win by 10. So either the guys who set the the point spreads and over unders are thinking it's going to be an incredible blowout and well over, or they think it's going to be a lot closer and a low scoring game. But to win by 10 and to stay under, 34.5? That doesn't seem possible. But that's something for another day. Now, when Fez checks in, he's out helping some poor people before he comes into work at the studio. So he might be a little delayed, but that's okay. He does a lot of work to help people. I got these fancy schmancy, see these fancy schmancy headphones like all the 2017 podcasts had? I got them. They are not necessary. They don't work, and I'm not hearing anything through them. But I thought they might add a bit of professionalism to the proceedings. Well, let's go over the game, the second game yesterday, which was Miami playing at Kansas City. Now, the NFL somehow thought it was a good idea to put that game where no one could possibly watch it. A game against one of the most interesting teams of the year, the Miami Dolphins, against one of the most watched teams, the world champion Kansas City Chiefs, who, even though they took the season off, are still in the playoffs. Someone felt that on Saturday night it would be a good idea to not show anybody the game. Oh, yeah, and Taylor Swift was there, I think. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's smart, NFL. Good idea. Nice. Who thought of that? Come on, stupid NFL. We ain't basketball. We ain't baseball. We put our games so that everybody can see them. Even if you would have put them on Amazon Prime or something. But Peacock, nobody wants to see all your stupid shows on your stupid Peacock network. And what kind of name is that for a network anyway? Peacock. But as to the game itself, let's go over that. Well, Mike McDaniel, he suffered another collapse in the season, and here's why. The reason, I think, and we let Fez jump in when he gets here, and these aren't ideas that nobody else has thought of, but for one thing, McDaniel, here's an example of what he does. One, you don't have to be the smartest guy in school anymore. We already know you're the smartest guy in the school. Did New England dazzle everybody with their brilliant chess moves when they won all those Super Bowls? No. At some point, at this point in the season, you just go out and you take your good guys, you put the ball in the hands of the guys who do the most with it, and on defense, you send your defense to stop their good offense. It gets that simple down here at the end of the year when all the teams' coaches are smart. It's not like 1980 when some of the teams' coaches were playing three-dimensional chess and the others had their dad's high school playbook. Everybody knows everything. The Dolphins got to cut out all that motion stuff and this complicated play designs before the snap. Their players are too good for that sort of stuff, and the NFL figures it out by this point in the season, and it makes this is why they have so much trouble getting their plays in. They're outsmarting themselves. I know, first coach to actually do it. They're being too complicated before the ball is snapped. Just line up, have Tua make a change of call when he gets to the line if he needs to, and Tyreek does not need to be in motion to set up a mismatch because every defensive player in the league is mismatched against him at the start. That complicated pre-snap stuff messes up their rhythm, and it has all year. Their rhythm when they want to be running out the clock, and their rhythm when they want to be passing. Now, if you're going to be passing all the time, you think you're going to be a quick team, kind of not no huddle like what's that guy Chip? What's the guy Chip? A guy played and coached the Eagles in Oregon. I forget his last name, but You don't need to be that. You don't need to go at breakneck speed the whole game, but you have to keep kind of a fast pace if you're going to be a team that wants to have all these this incredible passing, which they did. They have so much talent. They have more talent on offense than any team in the league. They did have a lot of injuries, but that's how much talent they had. It wasn't as if they overcame the adversity. It's more like they had so much darn talent and talent in offense. And Mike McDaniel's a brilliant offensive-minded coach. That's true. But for some reason, he needs the experience of actually being the head coach. So while the defense played pretty well, especially with all the defense injuries, especially um, in the latter part of the season, excluding the Tennessee game, it appears that Fangio, for some reason, there seems to be a bad chemistry or something. And once again, it seems like in his first season, he was saddled with a defensive coordinator he didn't really know. And then in this season, they courted Fangio like he's the only person they can call a defense. Well, McDaniel needs somebody who sets a disciplinary tone, as in like held accountable. It seems like, well, the word I hear, I get this really from watching from watching the Big O show, is that it's more like not a fraternity. That's what the word Big O said, but that's not an accurate description. He means like there's so much, they're so lax in holding the players accountable that you make a mistake here and there, nobody really holds you to it, and there's a general lack of discipline throughout the team. But it isn't. Fraternity makes it sound like there's a lot of off-field trouble, and it doesn't seem like there's any off-field trouble with the Dolphins nowadays. The problem is that McDaniel needs to focus just on being an NFL head coach. So you have the offensive coordinator call the plays and let McDaniel make the game plan, and let McDaniel work on the timing, getting the plays in, cut out all the pre-snap tricks and running around in motion. Worry about the motion after the ball is snapped. Also, they get a lot of penalties for illegal procedure or for offside jumping. It's because they make it too difficult for themselves. At some point, you just go down. You got your guys who are great against almost all the teams you play, can't stop you no matter what you do. So they got to go back and they got to play more basic and just they got the best receiving core. They have great tight ends. Great running backs. And the offensive line is, yes, injury riddled. Of course, they have suffered an incredible amount of injuries. That's true. But they need simplify the game plan. Let someone else. Simplify the game plan. Let Mike McDaniel draw the game plan and make the big decisions during the game, so he gets really good at it. And let the I think his name is Smith, the offensive coordinator, let him do the play calling. Get rid of Fangio. It'd be addition by subtraction, and get an up and coming defensive minded person. And Fangio could go anywhere. You're not calling for a guy's job because he would get hired anywhere in the NFL. So he's held in such high regard. So that is what I would do. They have an outstanding general manager in Greer. So if they do these things, they can get out of these late season collapses and you know, make progress, go forward as their franchise, win some playoff games, and get into the Super Bowl. The other advice I would give them is to sign to an extension. Don't let him go. Don't do the 5th-year option bullshit, because that young fellow has suffered enough with this kind of stuff. And now the pressure is going to be so great on him going into next year anyway. Give him an extension that you can afford now, before all these other young quarterbacks who came in either a year after, a year before, the same year, start looking for these huge second contracts, these quarterbacks, and they will be setting the market. Now, if you give them an extension, a big extension, it can be something that you can afford, and it will boost his confidence, and you make those other changes going forward, and it bodes well for Miami if they could make these things. They don't want to repeat. They don't want to have the same kind of season that they did this year. Next year, they don't want to waste. They have some incredible talent, once in a lifetime talent, especially at wide receiver with Waddle and Tyreek Hill. They have the fastest receiving core in NFL history, and Tua, he played in every game, and he stayed healthy the entire year. So he proved his worth, and it's time to let him stop worrying about things in the off season. All of the media, Miami media, is pretty vicious, I think, towards the team. Tua had to suffer through the poor coaching his first 2 years by Flores. Brian Flores, who wanted Justin Herbert instead of Tua, and look how that's gone. I don't think anybody would think that's a good decision now. But I will say that Tua, yes, assign Tua his extension. Do not make him play for an extension. And let's see, what else on the team? The injuries, I mean, you can't help injuries. That's true. That's just bad luck. But if you can get people healthy, you got a great deal of talent on the team. Special teams also needs to be looked at. They did not have good special teams this season, I don't think. That's all I'm going to say for the Dolphins. I think that if they play it right, they're going to stay good. And if they listen to all my unsolicited advice, free advice is usually worth what you pay for. But in this case, let McDon't learn. He's only 36 years old. He needs time to have a narrow focus to learn to be a great NFL head coach, a game day NFL head coach, because he has gifts. And now he has a lot of talent on the team. So that's a team that ought to still be playing. The Chiefs, they're totally inexplicable. They can't play them. They can't get themselves out of the playoffs if they try. Today's game, the Packers. Jordan Love, there's another guy who is going to have a contract up. His rookie contract, if it hasn't ended, is going. And I don't know what the status on that. There's a guy you don't want to have to pay after, because for the Packers. He's really emerged. Haven't seen many Packers games this year, but I somehow think that game against the Cowboys is going to be a lot closer than people think. Dallas is the superior team, and it is at home where Dallas is ruled. But weird things happen in the playoffs. The other game, what's the game tonight, is the Rams at Detroit. Total mystery. Rams are a total mystery to me. I'm rooting for Detroit. They're a great story. Okay, that's what we have for the playoffs. Now, as promised, I'm going to go over every player on the Ravens. And I am going active roster. See if Fez is around somewhere. Fez, if you're around, maybe he'd come out and help. The first player, I'm going to say, we do this in alphabetical order. I'll try to have a pithy comment on each one. We begin with Nelson Aguilar, number 15, a wide receiver. He's made some good plays this year. I don't know much more about him. I can't come up with a good Nelson Eddie Aguilar. How about that? Give him a nickname. You know anything about Aguilar there, Fez? Nelson Aguilar, number 15, wide receiver. You got any info on him? Like what his strengths are? He makes catches in crowds, I know that, when he's in there. Am I right? I think I am. Nelson Aguilar, the best Aguilar in the business. A 15, that's a weird numbers for the old wide receiver. Yes. What do you say, Fez? Fez has returned from helping the poor children of Baltimore. He is now in studio. He's in the house. Fez is in the house. Fez, what do you say about Nelson Aguilar, number 15, wide receiver?
Nelson Aguilar is a very he's what we call a good team guy, locker room.
Good locker room guy.
He played for the I believe he played for the Raiders, and he did quite well.
Played for the Raiders.
And then he went to the Patriots, and here's how much of a locker room guy he is. How much he cares about his teammates is that there was a game where another wide receiver had a concussion, but they went on to, they were just going to start the next play, but he stopped the game, and for his teammate who did well here, Devontae Parker.
Oh yeah.
And he stopped the game so that to get his teammate off the field, because he knew that concussion protocol person didn't seem to be doing their job, so he took it upon himself to do it, and that's I was concerned. So
Well, that is a good team player. Also, he's not afraid to
Also,
make a catch in the crowd himself.
the thing about it is he's a reliable receiver, doesn't drop it. He has some speed. Uh, he isn't a rookie anymore, but he has experience, and he's a good what you call a possession receiver in that he's not going to be like Tyreek Hill or anything speed, but he does have speed. You saw a couple plays where he's had some long touchdown passes, but I believe he was an excellent addition, especially considering that you didn't have to give anything for him, and you got it on a good deal. So I say all positive. I like Nelson Aguilar.
Okay. The next, Melisada Arnua Lalu, 71, guard tackle.
Oh yes, um, he wait. I think I believe he. Well, this is his first year on the team, but I think he's a rookie, or, yeah. So I think he's just starting to progress. I think progressed well, and um, but offensive line is you know is a strength. They got a lot of depth there, and
Number 7, a wide receiver named Rashad Bateman.
Rashad Bateman is the great talent. Both you and I, when he came out of the University of Minnesota, knew the pick was a great pick. When you talk about talent, he has got speed, he's got size, uh, blazing speed, which he's shown flashes of throughout. His problem was, of course, staying on the field. He had a lot of injury history. Still is a little inconsistent on staying on the field, but when he plays, he is a immense talent, and he has everything you want in a receiver.
Speaking of immense talents, we go to the legendary immense talents, a man who needs no introduction, but I'll give him one. OBJ, Odell Beckham Jr.
Odell Beckham.
Number 3, wide receiver. Not sure what he's doing.
Odell Beckham is
one of the best ever if he stays
his
healthy.
talent. His talent. No, his thing is also the injuries, but the talent and the drive is there because he is a man who wanted to be a Raven.
And he had a
so
lot
much,
of good games. He had several good games this year.
He's had some big games, sort of like reminiscent of the games he had when he was playing with the Rams. I don't think when the Rams went to the Super Bowl, they would have gotten there. It wouldn't have been for OBJ.
Yeah, he's spectacular.
He has healthy. He's healthy. He is he's one of the best talents. You can't really slow him down. The only thing to slow him down is injuries. So
nobody has hands like him in his career. I don't know if he's set now, but
he's made those great one-handed catches, and
he's one of the greats.
Finger catches
at the latter part of his career, but still
latter part. But he still has the drive, but injuries are still a question. But when he's out in the field, he's a very dangerous weapon for Lamar. He complements Lamar very well.
Yeah, because unlike the Rams used him pretty as well as they could.
the Rams used
Cleveland didn't.
that
And
Cleveland
ended that.
Cleveland
That ended Baker Mayfield's career there.
yeah, Cleveland I mean, you don't really need a motivator. They just didn't seem to want to use them.
What about?
I think it frustrates a receiver who that much talent and you're not throwing to him. It's more of a thing than trying to be disruptive.
Plus, he survived in some in the media maelstrom of New York. He was quite good.
Yes,
For the Giants.
Yes.
And now Ben Cleveland.
Ben Cleveland.
He's a guard. He's number 66.
He's I believe he's been playing more. He's a guard that's developed that I'm not sure he came out with a starting job, but he got it. I know he's been playing a lot more. But the one thing about him, he's a guard, and he's I believe he's like 350-pound guard, like 6'6" or something.
He's good.
Yeah, he's developed. Young player. He's got the right coaching, and with that, he's really progressed. And 350-pound guard, that's pretty good. He had to play tackle, so they moved him to guard. So
and here's another big guy who was a big star and still plays capably and situational. Jadeveon Clowney, number 24, defensive end and outside linebacker. I think he was the first pick in the draft. Maybe 8 or 10 years ago, right?
Yeah, Jadeveon Clowney is one of those players that still has a lot of gas left in the tank, and he got on the right team. He's done an excellent job in pass rushing for the Ravens. He's been a more than pleasant surprise in that he's dealt with injury history. That's another thing that's kept him back, but you can see he has the tools of and he's really added that pass rush that's helped the Ravens defense become the best in the NFL. And he was like a the signing was a low cost, high reward kind of signing that you really like, and he got to the high. So
so that's another good
addition.
Veteran. Malik Cunningham, number 12, quarterback.
Malik was
never seen him.
Yeah, I believe they had him he played on the active roster, mostly practice squad, but
he's on the active roster now.
Yeah, he's on the active roster now. Yeah, because they always worry about with Lamar about the quarterback situation, but I don't think he's.
I wonder if he's any relation to Randall Cunningham.
I don't know, but I don't. He hasn't. He's on the. He's third string quarterback, but he's he hasn't had a lot. He hasn't. I don't know if he's throwing passes this year, but he. But they kept him because they want to keep 3 quarterbacks in case the Brock Purdy thing happens.
And the important thing is that the Ravens were the forefront of insisting that all teams have 3 quarterbacks, and so he's the third quarterback.
But the one thing I disagree with the league, I praise the Ravens, and I think the Ravens must have thought this way too, that if you're going to when you have 3 quarterbacks on your active roster every game, you should have been allowed another slot and made it 54 active players, not 53 still. Because I don't think the league changed.
Not with all these damn games.
There's too many injuries and there's too many games. And the injuries are
injuries are really
just
profoundly affecting this game.
They completely changed teams. Like what's happened to the Ravens. The Ravens, I believe, went through the worst year of injuries in probably, well, in this era, because I go by eras, because of course there are so many injuries when you had less padding and everyone was running, and there were all the rules that you could do anything you wanted, basically.
And all the
I mean,
things you could do that the camera wouldn't see that
Yeah.
they see now.
you could clothesline, you could do things like helmet to helmet, and now they're trying to protect the players, but they're not really protecting the player. They add a game, makes it more.
Adding games
And
and
they're probably going to add another game, but
making
by
them
maybe
travel
next
around the
year,
world.
make them travel from. Don't even the schedules don't make sense. You go one place and you'll go have to travel 3,000 miles or something, or to another country for your next game. I believe I believe it's time that the division should be realigned. Divisions should be redone to be more, have teams close to each other that had to play twice. Not only you get the more regional, but you have more true indication of where where the teams are as far as geographically.
What about we go now, number 35. You know him, you love him. Gus Edwards.
Gus Edwards, yeah.
Running back.
Gus is my man. He's a hard-nosed runner. He's had some injuries, but he can find that end zone. And
he knows how to pound the rock, as
and
they say.
the guy can run through. The guy is the kind of guy that you want to do that smash mouth running, get you in between the tackles, and get you pick up ground up yards and time when you need to.
Yeah.
Part of
Plays like a raven, as they say.
Yeah, part of the number one rushing offense in the league this year.
What do you know about Daniel Filet?
Daniel Filet,
The tackle, I think.
that's the guy I've been high on. I always talk about him because this man is. I wish I look at the Dolphins, and that would have been a great pick for them. He wasn't picked to the fourth round, but when the Ravens had those 6 picks in the fourth round, and it's the best fourth round haul in history, I believe.
And what is his exceptionals?
He is the distinction of he is the largest player ever to participate in NFL Combine. He is 6'8", 384 pounds. And I just love this guy because I like the size is, and I guess he stayed to the fourth because he played University of Minnesota also, but I guess they thought he didn't have the speed to keep players. But how do you get around him if he just stands there?
Sometimes those big guys that are almost oversized, sometimes they get hurt fast.
That's true.
Him.
Yeah,
he's pretty good. I mean, he's in
Jonathan Ogden, who was one of the best that we've met several times, and he's a great guy. He had that. Once you get those nagging injuries, kind of like Teron Armstead gets, no matter how great you are, it just gets to the point where, like, especially those big guys get like toe injuries, things like that, foot things, where it's just keeps lagging until the point where even someone like John Ogden had to call it quits because the pain just got too bad. So, and that's a Hall of Famer. But I like
but like
I like
say,
this kid. He's
that size. It's hard to get
he's not
around
really a
anyway.
kid. I wouldn't call him a kid, but He's about as adult as you can get, 6'8", 384. But he's he's gotten play time, and I've watched him, and he can pancake uh,
Wouldn't
an
want to line
outside
up
line
on the other
back.
side of
Yeah,
him in any
yeah.
situation.
He's going to develop into I think a great offensive lineman. Um, and and the uh, and the Ravens were smart to pick him. That was a that was a steal in the draft. When you can pick someone like that with that raw ability
And also,
and that size and that
you don't
his
have to worry
strength.
about the down
Yeah,
in the trenches. He's kind of the trench himself. That
yeah.
size.
To get a guy like that and develop him, there's all upside because uh, the because overlooked, I guess, because they thought speed rushers like real fast could get around them, but um, seems like you would have to get a plane ticket to do that. So
That's right.
uh,
Now you could take this guy because this guy kind of writes himself. Number 4, the wide receiver Zay Flowers. I'll take the guy that comes after him because I know a little backstory. But Zay
Zay
Flowers.
Flowers is has yield test too. I was right again, as you know, in our discussions. How high I was on Zay Flowers. I went back and looked at his college height. This this is a man who was this was a guy who was ready for the NFL. NFL ready, but not but still with room to grow. He 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 played in Boston College, where of course he's not going to get it's going to be a big press, but he got it because he runs precise routes. He's very fast. He doesn't drop the ball, but he combines that speed and that just precision route running, sort of like someone like Jerry Rice.
That's true.
And
He runs precise routes, gets open, and actually catches the ball.
yeah, and he had great numbers at Boston College. They didn't have a great team, or he didn't have a great quarterback, and um, they.
And he fought off
But
the.
forgive it. I apologize if you have a great quarterback, but with Dave Flowers, you become a great quarterback anyway because he's the first round pick that Rashad Bateman is was a first round talent, and but with injuries. But this time they got Zay Flowers. They got
After all
Rashad
this,
Bateman out all those picks. They got someone who had combines all the things you want, but can stay on the field.
all these years of
He had
having like being jinxed with their first round wide receiver picks.
yeah, and another thing, he had led the team with 77 catches, but um, he
Yeah, that's outstanding.
and as a rookie, and after all those first round picks they had and didn't work out, and it looked like Rashad Bateman was going to work out, but because of the injuries, but he came back, and that's one reason to get those two guys in there.
They also
Our first,
he has a good he reads the situation, like he understands when it's time to break open like a busted play. He knows
that's another thing. He plays smart.
he's got that good
He's not
chemistry with
yeah with Lamar.
Lamar.
When Lamar starts scrambling, Zay comes to the ball. He doesn't just keep running a fly route. And he has a sense about that, and Lamar really likes him a lot.
Lamar said, "Go out and get me some weapons." and they did, and that's
Yep.
one of them, and he's come through. Now this next guy, I know something about. He played for the University of Wisconsin, Melvin Gordon III. He's like bouncing around the league
Oh
for
yeah.
about the last 10 years, 8 to 10 years on like San Diego and other teams.
The Rams.
Rams. He fumbled the ball a lot his whole career. So number 33, but he finally got on the Ravens active roster because of injuries, and he who was the big guy that got injured this year, running back?
Oh, that was oh, man.
Not good at Gus Edwards. The other
No,
Dobbins.
J.K. Dobbins. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Why were
Oh, that's all right. It's been so long since he went out. He went out like in the second game. Anyway, this Melvin Gordon guy, he ran for over 400 yards in a game against, at the time, was the number 16 ranked team in the country. So he just never made it in the NFL because a lot of injuries and also they fumbled the ball a lot, but now he's gotten his chance.
Yeah, but the one thing the Ravens have been great on, resurrection careers of guys who are supposed to be done, like how Ricky Williams came here and did so well.
Oh yeah.
And you get these guys in there, and they're supposed to be done with their careers and stuff like that, like Clowney and
Really, their whole
Melvin
history.
Gordon. They come in and they contribute. Another player that I'll mention along with that is Kyle Van Noy. Suddenly, you got these players who were supposed to be done playing like they did in their prime when he was with the Patriots, winning Super Bowls.
And historically,
it's been that way. I think
they did with one guy they took from Steve McNair. I mean, that ended. That's sad, but
yeah, that's sad. But
he had a great year.
He had a great year. Yeah.
Rod Woodson, he
Bob
was
Woodson,
a Steeler and
came here and he still played at.
He was the best player at his position when he was here.
Yeah, and you got these
And
guys
that was
coming.
the Steelers he left.
Yeah, you got players that come and you think they're on the downside of their career. They come to the Ravens and they're renewed because it just seems like there's a Raven magic.
And
that
also
rejuvenates these players. And the coaching is so John Harbaugh is so good at being a head coach, which well, we talk about that later, but that's what they need to do in Miami.
Well, the thing about them is that DaCosta, the owner, Shoddy, and John Harbaugh are not only all on the same page, but it's like a page that they all wrote.
Yeah, Eric DaCosta, he is like
so that's what puts them.
Eric DaCosta is like kung fu, where he's learning under, like he's learning under the great Ozzie Newsome. I mean, I don't know how someone you could have a better teacher.
And
this is just and he was under him all those years, and he was paying attention. That's for sure.
And Bisciotti said he gave it up, even though rivals, the organization we want to copy is the Steelers, and well, we have Harbaugh has been there for what 15 years. The stability in the front office is it's what they envisioned when Bisciotti took over.
And the thing about the Ravens is the Ravens have built a team. They always say this about the Capitals, Washington Capitals. How good they were, like a finesse team, like sort of. And no matter how good they played in the regular season, always had a lot of times the best record. When we got to playoffs, it's like you need a different, whole different mindset, and you gotta be able to be just relentless and smash mouth football, just the basic, what made teams great, these dynasties. Um, and so the Ravens have a team that's built now for the playoffs. They don't. They have no. There's no weaknesses like um, other teams might have. Like Dallas has to play at home. Miami, very suspect. Like especially on the special teams, not very good. But well, you don't get better special teams when you have the real goat.
Yeah.
That even Tom Brady
And
agrees.
this year
The
they've
real
done.
goat is, of course, our kicker
This
Justin
year they've made
Tucker.
a lot of smart choices and no botching games with these weird fourth down, fourth quarter decisions. Okay, how about Kyle Hamilton, 14, the safety?
Kyle Hamilton. When Von Holland went out, the Kyle Hamilton was probably the second ranked in the by PFF. He is a force to be reckoned with because he's like 6'5".
Yeah,
He
he's been
comes
a
out of
big
Notre Dame.
surprise this year. A big
But the thing
pleasant.
about it is how good he is. You can he's the hybrid player that every coach, defensive coach, just loves because uh, you can play him. You can play him, of course, as safety, where he's great. In that game against the 49ers, he was the AFC Defensive Player of the Week. He had two interceptions, 5 tackles, and but you could use Kyle Hamilton. You could put him at linebacker, and
Yeah, he's been great
that's
this year.
that's he's got the size, the range. Knew that how much his upside was, but I don't. I think they might even be surprised at how fast he reached height because he is an all pro. Um, he is that was a great pick. Uh, I knew at the time. I know because discussions I've had with you and other people. Maybe I didn't bring up on air because I think we need to
We
be.
did talk about
We
him in
we,
a couple of
we will
games
be
here.
doing a draft show this year,
Yeah.
pre-draft, and giving our um, you know
So let's hope he's on the field.
better than saying Lamar be. We knew that Lamar was not going to be a running back playing quarterback or a wide receiver. That's just stupid stuff. Um,
Okay, what
he
about now Malik Harrison, number 40,
Malik Harrison,
linebacker?
linebacker. Yeah, he's played, but he's not. We need more tape on him because uh, he is in there. He's been there, especially the last game where they're resting starters. But uh, I seen it. I think that when I saw him play, just seen him on TV, so he must have made some plays because I noticed him on the field. But um, we'll be getting more information about him as he spends more time.
What about number 22, Damian Williams, cornerback?
Oh yeah, yeah. I thought you were going to talk. I know um, Stevens is around that number two, uh, but yeah, he's got to be one of those rookies of pick or that.
Yeah, I don't think he's been out much.
But I don't think
Out there
yeah.
much? What about Marcus Williams, safety?
Marcus Williams, when he was
32?
yeah, he was when he was with the that's when I was very excited about.
Safety.
Yeah, safety. Yeah, he played for the he plays a free safety because I know that Kyle Hamilton has to be playing that strong safety because of his size too, and that you can use him at the diversity is. the Ravens like those players who can play different positions. Well, back to Kyle Hamilton, he could also play. You could also put him at cornerback because he has the speed. But Marcus Williams, both you and I were talking about how great a pickup that was because he was on the Saints. He was, I think, PFF rated like in the top, or in the top couple of safeties at that. But the one thing he's come in and he's done great when he's played, but he's had injury issues. Some injury issues, but
Here-
healthy. Uh,
Here's a guy,
Healthy, he is
another
one of the
defensive
best.
back. I think I would have remembered this name.
Brandon
Yan Sin.
Oh yeah. He came from
23, cornerback.
yeah.
You know him?
Yes, he was on the. They got him from the Raiders as a free agent. The he's gotten more play time as there's been injuries like Marlon Humphrey. Um, I he, I saw him play. He's played well, and he's had to play a lot more because of injuries in the secondary. But I think he's exceeded expectations at the Raiders cut him.
What about Kevin Zeitler, 70, guard?
Kevin Zeichner, he is a he's consistent. He's excellent. He our he was recruited by our great guard. I don't know why my memory is
Oh, that's all right. It'll come to you.
will come to me, but you know, a true Hall of Famer. He's going to be a Hall of Famer, and I apologize to him because I had a rough sleep, but I think you might.
It'll hit.
come-
It'll hit you.
It'll
as
hit
we
me
go down.
because he's so good, but the
Or
story
you can
is
look up on there when you get a chance.
okay. I don't want to look up because he's too great a player for me.
We'll come back to that.
Yeah, but let me
I
tell.
think I know who you mean.
Let me tell you.
I know who you mean. I can't come up with his
Yeah,
name.
let me tell you a story of he was the one who recruited Kevin Slater to come to the team, and he should be coaching, at least be an offensive line coach because he was right. This guy came from the Giants, and for the Giants, he was probably their best lineman. And
What about 99?
and
Odafe
uh,
Owen.
oh wait, let me finish that. He came and he was recruited by this great Hall of Famer, and fans don't get mad at me, but we've been having a lot of numbers in our heads, but I will make it up to this player because he's so great. One of the great Ravens, be in a Hall of Fame, so everyone's going to know it. And now I think I got to go to this Hall of Fame. But has it been out long enough? Yeah, I think. Yeah, he pushed to have him. That's the thing about it is that retired players and then players that don't even play for the Ravens anymore, are retired or play for another team, are still recruiting for the Ravens. That's how much people love to be a Raven. Play like a Raven is a real thing, and it's embodied in players like Ray Lewis, and it and the thing about it, let me just say when Ray Lewis last year there, it almost was like they're going to the Super Bowl and they're going to win, so get out of the way. It just seemed like it was. I felt that was just going to happen. They were just going to will. It was Ray Lewis himself, the bottom of Ray Lewis, everything is play like a Raven, and that's a real thing, which is why the Ravens have been so successful for so long. Um, Besides, great personnel, a great owner who stays up, knows how to delegate and leaves football to the football experts. So, yeah, and that story is how Kevin Seitner, and he's uh, first year great, and I think he's had some injury issues, but not so severe. He's but he's an excellent guard.
Well, speaking of number 52, Ray Lewis, the next person is Deshaun Phillips, the linebacker number 53.
Sean Phillips, I know the name. I know all the players, but it's hard to how much time he's gotten. I don't think he. I'm not
It
100%.
was Hello to Nada. That he was defense, right?
No, not yeah. He was defensive line, and the thing about Lodi Nada, I saw footage of him playing rugby. He's carrying the whole team. That's what.
Yeah.
But he was fast too. Yeah, Lodi Nada, another great.
What about a nose tackle, Michael Pierce?
Michael Pierce,
number 58.
Michael Pierce is my comeback player. This is how good the Ravens are. Michael Pierce was a great player for the Ravens, but it got to be. I think it was like, who are you going to sign, Leonardo or Michael Pierce? So you got to a point where your contract, your cap hit, you had to sign one or the other. So you gave Leonardo a big contract. So Michael Pierce became a free agent and went to Minnesota. Well, he didn't play for almost 2 seasons, and then he comes back to the Ravens, and this year, when they thought he might have his career be over, he has gone back to his top form, and he's been a big contributor to that defense. I see him in a lot of plays. I think Mike McDonald, the defense coordinator, is really happy with Michael Pierce. I am. He's been a force in that middle of that defense, and especially against the run.
Here's a man you know. He's you've heard of the King of Queens. He's the Queen of Kings. Patrick Queen, number 6, linebacker.
Patrick Queen has earned his extension. He needs to. The whole thing was that Patrick Queen, when Roquan Smith came in, Patrick Queen was not playing to his potential. Well, Roquan Smith has that kind of effect on other players, how great he is, and that was a coup. Chicago, well, I guess you don't want to win. You get rid of
Patrick Queen is one of the best linebackers in the league now. I don't think anybody.
Patrick Queen is now a top linebacker, and you get that team together. It's just Roquan Smith elevates everyone, because Roquan Smith was still like in the even though the focus wasn't all on him. Like, he was the only player, because Patrick Queen was getting a lot more tackles. Roquan Smith is still one of the top tacklers. And the thing about Roquan Smith is he really brought Patrick Queen's full talent out.
Roquan Smith, 0. Number 0.
And
inside
so
linebacker.
I say you keep those two guys together. Patrick Queen is the player they wanted him to be to get that contract, and I give it to him. Just work out the money, give him money up front. I bet he even take less than going to another team because of how well he gels with
Roquan Smith.
Roquan Smith
has really turned the defense.
Yeah, he might be number 0, but he's more like a number one. So
He's almost up
this
there.
time you see a zero running at you, you better you better duck because you're gonna get hit. Because this is Roquan Smith is the player that Ray Lewis would have put on the team has example of how you play like a Raven.
Number 42. There aren't many left in the league.
Yes.
A fullback.
This
Patrick
is,
Ricard.
as you know, I am very
Fullback.
high. I love this player. I love teams use fullbacks.
Yeah, it's odd that fullback has gone away.
Miami, he was a free agent, and the Ravens smartly gave him the money to stay. He's the best fullback in the league, where teams don't use fullbacks anymore, most teams.
I think it's only the Ravens.
Ravens, Dolphins, 49ers.
49ers.
And I think the Dolphins way underused their fullback. But the Ravens don't underuse Patrick Ricard is a 300-pound fullback. You could throw to him. You don't really use him like that. He's the traditional Brock Nagurski kind of the 300-pound blocker who is 200 pounds would be an excellent blocker, but you put that bot in a 300-pound man. You've got yourself you've added all-pro offensive lineman. You can get catches out, and he can run those short yardage runs.
Plus, he helps because he can block anybody.
He also
because he sees where they're coming from.
If you give him the eye, he makes every other running back. He is the hole. He blows a hole. It's like a missile coming. Heat-seeking missile.
Yeah, he's.
You better get out of his way. He is what traditional football, what old school guys love.
And he's an offensive lineman who you don't have to report.
Yeah, offensive lineman that you use
already
in the running game, and you cannot beat his blocking. He is a Hall of Famer, fullback. He's all-pro fullback. He is the GOAT, I think, of fullback.
95, Travis Robinson.
One last thing about him.
Okay, go to the last thing.
Yeah, Patrick Ricard. There was a funny story about Patrick Ricard, and that they were saying that he got like DoorDash or something like that, and a neighbor took his food. Now, I would take, especially Patrick Ricard, he get hungry. Okay, this is a guy also, I gotta say, he can play both ways. He can play defensive line for you too. So don't mess with a hungry Patrick Ricard.
Yeah.
If you want, especially your neighbor, okay? That's who you want on your side in the neighborhood.
Well, the DoorDash person probably got a hernia carrying that food.
Yeah. You probably had to take separate trips, but Patrick Ricard,
yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, he's a hungry player, not because just his size but man, he is the epitome of the Raven. Play like a Raven.
Number 95, Tavius Robinson, outside linebacker.
Now I heard the name, but he's one of those.
He must be one of those that might have been added in.
Either added or he's a young rookie. Maybe he signed as a free agent, but I don't know a lot about him. But
John Simpson, 76 guard.
John Simpson is a new to the team because I haven't heard that name. I used to.
Well, he's probably just been added to the active roster.
What?
Well, he's probably just recently added to the active.
Oh yeah,
a lot of these guys.
I think he was a practice squad guy who, for injuries and for depth, you got to move up. But you're on the Ravens.
Number 30, Trenton Simpson is another inside linebacker. That's too many Simpsons on the team,
Yeah,
but
but
that's all right.
Trent Simpson is the player where at first they had drafted to replace Patrick Queen because to pay because he's on a rookie contract, and Patrick Queen just has played lights out. So, of course, you keep developing. Uh, he's got all the tools to be able to play next to Raekwon Smith when they draft him. So I look for a lot of good things in this player's future.
Okay, number 79, tackle. This guy's
Ronnie
good.
Stanley,
Ronnie Stanley. Hurt a lot, but good
another.
when he's in.
He's like
Injury riddled.
uh,
Is he even in?
Teron
He's on the
Armstead.
active roster. He must be okay.
He
Or they don't want to not put him on
no.
the
What
active
happens
roster.
is what they do is they don't want him getting injured. So what they've done is they've like rotated left tackles in to keep him fresh and and ease him back in because he was I think he was the first team All Pro in when Lamar's
Yeah, he's
year
good
where
when
they
he's
won the
in.
MVP because he is out of Notre Dame also, I believe, and he is healthy. He healthy. He was the best left tackle, arguably in football, at least Pro Bowl level, and um,
He just
he's
gets
had a
hurt.
lot of
Yeah.
injury problems, but when he's in there,
He's too good to get
he
to
is
get to not have him on the team
he is
active roster.
he's like I compare him to Teron Armstead in that Teron Armstead has all these injuries and doesn't play a lot of games, but when he plays, elevates the team so much. But and Ryan Stanley is one of those guys who would just um, he play injured, but it
But when he
affects.
plays,
He's
he's
had
just too
injuries that
good.
have been kind of devastating. He's missed a lot of time, but healthy. Uh, that Lamar knows he can count him on that blind side.
Number 21, defensive back Brandon Stevens.
Brandon Stevens, I think I mentioned his name before. Yeah, Brandon Stevens is always that guy who overachieves for his talent. I'm not sure. I know he's young. He's come in when they had all these injuries at secondary and has performed admirably. He's one of those players that high ceiling. I think they keep the way they develop players there. He is he will at least stay as a very viable depth piece. So
Geno Stone, 26, safety.
Geno Stone, see, yeah, and this isn't the not the quarterback. They've caused name a lot. I think he had a interception this year in a game, and because
He ain't Stone hands.
that's when he's gotten my attention enough that I always have to make the joke about he's not he's with the Geno is he's not playing in Seattle. Yeah.
Well, Baltimore has a good history with guys named Geno.
Yep.
Restaurants and
Yeah. Because Geno Marchetti would be
Geno
playing
Marchetti.
would be playing at all pro level while he was eating a hamburger.
Yeah. What about Laquan Treadwell?
Laquan Treadwell,
Wide receiver.
wide receiver. Oh,
18.
okay. He is he's in that group of young players that are just developing a I think a depth piece right now, but they're developing. They've really done a great job in the use of rotating receivers to keep people fresh, um, and uh, now he's on the active roster, right?
Oh yeah, this is all the
This is
latest
all
active
okay. Yeah.
roster.
Now I don't know if he came from the practice squad, but
Probably.
yeah, but I know the name, so just look for things in the future. Not a lot of information now, but there will be.
But here's a guy I don't even have a number. Broderick Washington, a defensive end, defensive tackle. He's probably another of those guys
I think he's another one of those guys that
that they're just putting on for.
that they're building excellent depth, and these guys are like you got to be like a you got to just buy into the Raven system. I would go back to play like a Raven.
And another receiver.
And if you do, you're hard nosed.
Tyan Wallace, you know Tyon?
Yeah.
96, wide receiver.
Tyan Wallace was the one who had the. He's the one who he returned the punt.
Oh yeah, against the Rams.
Against the Rams in the
Yeah, that turned out.
Yeah,
to be
that
a
guy.
big game.
This guy's good. You could see in that
That game.
What was it? It was 96 yards.
That game turned around,
and he basically won the game in the first he fit. This guy's gonna be around.
Well, that return really was a signature win because
that was a great return. That was
if they would have lost the Rams,
the Rams are
the Rams have won every
the Rams
other
are
game.
not any team to sneeze at or look past, because the Rams they got healthy. Really, probably Sean McVay's best coaching job. And
yeah, it was a huge game.
For whatever people put on Matthew Stafford in any criticism, he's healthy, fully healthy. This team, especially the not only Cooper Kupp, but the rookie they had, receiver, was one of the leading receivers.
That was a huge win for the Ravens this year.
Beating the Rams was a big thing. It was a signature win.
What about 97, Brent Urban? He's a defensive end.
Is it Ken Urban?
Brent Urban?
Brent Urban. Yeah, Brent Urban. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, see, I know a little bit about Brent Urban. He's played a lot. I can look into
Urban Cowboy.
I can look more into it, but I know the name, and I know those players I need to look more into because they deserve it. But you'll be hearing more from him.
I know you know this guy, 50, outside linebacker, Kyle Van Noy.
Kyle Van Noy. I always loved Kyle Van Noy. He was on the Dolphins, and I don't understand. He was like the team captain. Of course, that was Brian Flores. He plays 1 year. They signed a contract. Actually, a team friend, and he does a great job. He's a defensive leader. He's a blocker leader, and then they and then after 1 year they cut him. Dolphins' loss is the gain for the Ravens. He's one of those players like where you think his career's over, supposedly. Older guy, has been around, has Super Bowl rings with the Patriots. His prime played with Tom Brady. This guy is a hard-nosed champion player who has great talent, but his upside is why you keep him around is that he's such a positive influence, and his first year he was defensive captain for Dolphins, so he's a smart player too, and he's great in teaching younger players. Um, he's not one of those players that will hold back and helping out there. So I think he might end up in coaching because he
Cornerback Marlon Humphrey, 44.
Marlon Humphrey has had injury issues this year, and when he has injury issues, it's so glaring because him at his full strength, you got to put up there with even he's been put up there with Jalen Ramsey as one of the best cornerbacks in the league.
Yeah,
Basically, he's healthy. When he's healthy, he's a shutdown corner. Like
That's right.
Where
Like
don't even
Gardner.
bother throwing over there. Throw
Revis.
And they end up throwing the other side. So, yeah, Marlon Humphrey, great player.
Backup quarterback number 2, Tyler Huntley.
Tyler Huntley has
It can't be too bad. Right?
They should have won that. I think I look at it as just so questionable about whether that not was a touchdown. It could have been called a touchdown when the fumble against Cincinnati and Cincinnati ran it back.
Oh yeah.
You're talking about, and that was in the playoffs against Cincinnati, and without and all the other injuries you had without Lamar, and look how close you came to winning that. Tyler Huntley is a player who is great backup, who can come in and play the kind of game like a Lamar Jackson Jr., but because no one compares to Lamar Jackson anyway. But he has been a very, very good backup. He's a guy you want to keep on your team as your backup. He can win games for you. He can win playoff games for you. They almost did. Anyway, without
98
Lamar.
defensive tackle Travis. I can't read what I.
Travis Williams. No, I don't know.
Yes. Travis something E.S. Solis.
Oh wait.
We'll have to go back to him.
Yeah, we'll have to go back.
I sharpied
some of these players.
Look, I sharpied it.
A lot of these players are like.
I made the mistake of using a Sharpie on a white paper. So that half the pages. So we might have to come back to some of these. So I'll put that down. Travis something. Josh Johnson, a 17 quarterback.
Josh Johnson is wait, I think
that'd be the 4th quarterback.
He's on the practice squad, I guess, but they want to make sure they keep quarterbacks and I don't. He's played in the preseason, so but he's got to be down, I guess, on the practice squad because
that would have been the 4th.
Yeah, 4th quarterback.
Charlie Cross, 88 tight end. Charlie Kruk.
Oh yeah, they have some. I think he's one of those.
He's the second string, right?
Yeah, but
with Andrews being 89 Andrews out.
Yeah, they like. We'll
have to come back to him. I can't read his name.
Well, they like. Mark Andrews is one of those talents that almost.
It's hard to believe they're that good.
But the thing about it is, they're when you go back to it's like running by committee, and next guy steps up. That really
Yeah, here's the
that
next
really
guy.
means something in the
X-Man Up. That's what the book
yeah.
was.
These guys you
It was
get
about the
are
Ravens.
like guys like you had
Well, here he is.
Nick Boyle and the stuff that
Who you're
were
thinking of? Isaiah Likely.
Isaiah Likely.
He's turned out
This
great.
guy I know not from just the Ravens, but the Dolphins who signed him twice, and I think
Number
I
80.
think had cut him from the practice squad because I don't think that the well the Patriots signed Isaiah off of Miami's practice squad. Then I think Miami re-signed him, but then I don't know they didn't keep him on the practice squad, and but they saw the this guy. They made a mistake passing on this guy. This guy is you give him a chance. Uh, of course, he's not Mark Andrews. No one is even.
But he stepped in on a
But he
team
stepped
that,
in and he has been productive. He's been he's an excellent receiver.
and the Ravens base a lot of their game plan, a great deal of their game plan on tight end.
Yeah, and that even though of course there's a drop, you lose all pro, future Hall of Famer, and I think our best tight end in the league playing now.
Yeah, I mean
Taylor Swift, don't get mad at me, but Mark Andrews.
you might have to
Mark
put
Andrews.
Travis Kelce's 9 straight 1,000-yard.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, you put Mark
But
Andrews
Mark Andrews
on
is
that
great
level
as well. Yeah,
because this year he was having his best year before he got hurt as far as touchdowns. He's probably going to break his most touchdowns he's gotten. He's going to be the leading receiver. When you lose a guy that's he's Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce.
the set.
You at first you lose, but the thing about it is that what they have that Kansas City doesn't have is they brought in guys like they made the receiver core so much better together as a whole when they don't have to rely so much on Mark Andrews. So they were able to spread the pain out.
Well, the other thing is, and also ironically, his girlfriend is an excellent singer. I don't know, but okay. Now let's go down. Lindenbaum, the center,
Lindenbaum.
64.
This is a guy
Great.
I loved and knew what it was this guy. No one had any doubts about. This is guy is like John Elway of centers. He actually had the highest PFF rating of any center since they started being the official
When was he drafted?
ranking for the NFL. He is the highest center prospect to come out.
He's a rookie.
Oh no, he's in his second year.
Yeah, he's
And
good.
he is.
Their offensive line has
He
really
is.
stepped up.
They
this
said
year.
he was NFL ready, and boy, were they right. He came in, and now he is arguably the best center in the NFL. He came in, and this guy is all pro. This guy is a great center, and he was. There was no thing about we missed on him.
Yeah, he
was just
outstanding.
he was just a guy who was 100%. I think Mel Kiper was talking about how this guy was so NFL ready that he didn't need a training camp. So, yeah, Tyler Linderbaum has been he was a first round pick, and he was more than worth it. I think they were jumping up and down when he was on the board. Yeah, so
Yeah, that's a.
that
great
was
pick.
that was a John Elway kind of pick where you can't lose. But
Okay.
he's had some minor. I don't know. He missed some games because he made a big thing about it because it was such a gap. It was um,
Yeah, I
usually
hope
like
he
Connor
doesn't get injured.
Williams.
Who's that
If you lost
fella?
him,
The guy Ben. He was a center a couple years back.
Ben Mason, wasn't it? Isn't that?
Something like that. Ben. Oh, he's another guy we'll have to look up. So we need to find 2 offensive linemen
Yeah.
of recent times.
And
Ben.
all I can do is apologize because I can't.
No, it was a lot of players. No
But
nobody goes over
you
every
got to
player.
know. You can't forget this guy is
No, it was like Ben Strong or something. Ben. No, we'll
It wasn't Ben Mason
Ben Mason sounds close.
because
Because there's a guy who's a coordinator in the league, no relation with the same name. Let's see. There are some players. Okay, Arthur Mullet, linebacker.
I've heard the name, but he's
Jeremiah Moon, 48, outside linebacker.
these guys. I don't think. I think they got
just
some
on
playing
the-
time done at the end, but these guys are like the depth pieces that young players that don't know a lot about. But
Marson Moses,
Morgan Moses.
Morgan Moses.
Oh,
Yeah.
Morgan Moses. He's
78 tackle.
Yeah, right tackle.
Yeah.
He has there was like some criticism of him when he was because he played for the Commanders, did a great job. Then he was on the Jets, I think, and the Jets gave up on him. But he's been a solid right tackle, that's for sure. He's an older player, but he's done a great job since he's come.
You want the older players on that
Yeah.
line. Savvy.
Yeah, he's one thing that experience. I always liked him and thought the Dolphins should pick him up, but and I don't know how the Jets with their line problems now that they gave up on him, but Morgan Moses has been a consistent, very good starter.
We have Patrick McCarry, 65, offensive line.
Oh yeah, thinking about McCarry is I really like for his versatility because when they've had injuries, he could play. He's played tackle. He could play guard. I think not that he's played center much, but I think he could even come in and play center. He's one of those guys that are great for versatility, which is great to have especially if when you're dealing with injuries, they were able to put them on both sides of the ball. John Harbaugh says a lot of good things.
It's always
about
pride.
John Harbaugh says a lot of things about liking players like these kind of guys who can you can fit them in anywhere, and he'll do an excellent job.
Sam Mustaver, 61, center, backup center, I guess.
Yeah, but
You know him?
well, has anyone knows as Dolphins found out you should have a backup center always. So you're talking about the Ravens and it'd be possible to fill the shoes of Lindenbaum at this time, but he's probably not getting a lot of time to play. He's not going to play with the first team, but if you're backing up if you're trusted with that job, you're good. But just one of those players that I hope you just can keep as your backup center because you need backup center in this league.
That's right.
Miami found out how important it was.
Tyler Ott, 69.
Attack. I don't.
LS.
You don't
69.
don't know a lot about.
Really on the line, right?
I don't think he's got a lot of playing time. More reports. We're gonna do. I'm gonna research some of these guys.
Or we'll come up with the two
There's a lot
people.
of you guys.
I think Ben Mason. I think that's right because I know it was a name like that. And there was another person we were thinking of that was on the offensive line recently that retired. We gotta look that up.
Yeah.
Tyler
One
Ott,
of the best
69.
guards in
left safety.
best guard in history.
Left safety. Left safety? That's not even a position. All right. What about
A lot of these guys are big special teams contributors because the John Harbaugh has always emphasized that he was the great special teams coach under Andy Reid. It's hard to get a better teacher.
Yeah, their
And,
offense.
And they're these guys are all a lot of them special team contributors who that's how they've earned their roster spots. So it's hard.
A couple
it's
of
hard.
coaches people may have heard of: Andy Reid and John Harbaugh. Also, let's see. I think that's pretty much. We're the only
Ravens that have gone through every player
we're the only
and been honest.
podcast that has done all this, and this is brought to you by animals. Please support your local animal. Also, there's two players. That's it. Fez knows all the players. This is the only podcast that knows all the players on the team, not just the stars. There's two people we did not feel the need to talk about. One is number 9, a guy, a little-known quarterback of Lamar Jackson. And the other is number 8, a place kicker in the NFL of the name Justin Tucker. They deserve their own shows.
8 number.
Sorry.
No, number 9.
Number 9, Tucker. Number 9, Lamar. Number 9, Tucker. And 8 is
Lamar.
Lamar and
it's really both are number 1.
Both are probably could be end up. We know Tucker's the greatest place kicker in NFL history.
Lamar. Tom Brady
may end up being.
Tom Brady ain't the GOAT. Justin Tucker, he's the GOAT.
But that's all we have for today. They have the see what the score of the games. I wonder if it started. It's 5:00. The Packers Cowboys game has probably begun, and we're gonna go for a few more minutes to go out, but there's a chance you could check to see the score of that game. The Packers.
Yes. Game. Hold on 1 second.
I know one thing. The way it starts is a lot of times in these playoffs, the way it begins, unfolds at the beginning, sets the tone for the entire game. Who is ready and who ain't. But that is a very historic matchup. The Ice Bowl. They played in the Ice Bowl back in the 60s with Bart Starr going over on the quarterback sneak at the last play of the game. Ben Kramer, I think, was the Jerry Kramer was the offensive line who led the way, and that was a great Dallas
Great Bart Starr
defense, and that was Vince Lombardi, and that was Tom Landry. So that's some royalty in
that's
NFL
a game of legends.
history.
Two of the greatest coaches.
The over/under on this game, Dallas. I mean, you may already have it. It was the Dallas Green Bay game over/under was I had it here somewhere. I got to start writing with the Sharpies.
But the
Sharpies are great. But don't use them if you
Sharpies
have
are
some
great.
on the other side.
You know you're going to be able to see the print, but
It's like
it just don't get too close to hailing it,
and don't have anything on the other side because it's like
paper, unless you have really thick paper.
It's like a Rocky Marciano punch. It bleeds through.
Yeah, you're gonna see it on the. It's gonna get rid of the print on the other side, and
the over under. We picked the over was 50.5.
I think we picked the over.
Yeah, we chose over
because both
those teams score.
Both teams can score. Jordan Love has been a pleasant surprise for a very, very pleasant surprise.
Dallas is weird at home. They go nuts at home.
But Dallas averaged what was it, 40 points a game at home.
Yeah, they're incredible at home.
And they were 8-0-0.
I see pictures of Green Bay looking happy.
Okay, yes. Green Bay is ahead 7-0.
Oh, I'm sorry, Keith. How much time is in the game? It's probably just started, correct? Green Bay's ahead 7-0. That means it's going to be a high-scoring game because that would be wild if the Packers won. Where do the Packers go? Finally. We're going to see what this game is.
I'm just looking up something.
I just wanted to see if you could get the time, how much time's left in that game there.
I will give you that report in 1 minute.
Okay.
Well, okay, I have to give you the score. I'm also going to apologize for, but the names come to me, and I'm glad, because this is a very, very, very cool name, and for a very great player. It was the Kansas City. It was great Marshall Yanda.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Marshall
How
Yanda.
you forget that? I really apologize for that.
Well, that's all right.
Because
we knew him. He was great.
Because
he's gonna make
no matter what.
He hasn't. He'll be in the Hall
He doesn't
of Fame.
need to have. He doesn't need. He's
awesome.
above having a name. He's so and doing the recruiting for bringing a player like if you're Marshall Yanda approved, you are good to go with me. Anyone that Marshall Yanda says
he was awesome,
that's the player I want to replace me. It's kind of like AC/DC.
Yeah.
Where Bon Scott said, if anything happened to me, this is the guy, Brian Johnson, I want you to use.
Yeah, and Marshall Yanda.
That's been legend and legend.
Awesome.
So
maybe we should do a whole show. That's what we'll do. We'll do a whole show on Marshall Yanda.
Yeah.
to make up for not remembering his name.
It's going to upset a lot of
He's awesome.
Defensive players.
He's in the NFL Hall of Fame.
Going
He's
to
in the
upset
Ring
a
of
lot
Honor.
of. It is 7-0. There's 1:26 left in the first quarter. Dallas has not scored.
Okay, 1:26 left in the first
Dallas'
quarter.
first drive was 8 plays, 27 yards, and they had to punt. So,
Uh-oh.
and Green Bay scored a 67-yard drive on their first drive. They punted the second time, and
Sounds like a
Green Bay
good
just
game.
punted. Dallas has the ball for the second time. So, but the first quarter is almost up.
You need 43 more points, and Dallas. I think Dallas is favored by some weird 8 or something. So get watching that game and the other game that's tonight, and we.
Okay, I'll take back. I gotta take care of the kitties now.
That's Fez's code word for using the bathroom. Okay. We try to have comportment on this show. We have a bathroom in the studio. Usually, I'm the only one that's supposed to use it, but this has been a long broadcast. This is our longest ever. Okay. Don't blow up that bathroom, Fez. I shall be back. We all will be back. Late Night Baltimore thanks you. We thank Morgan Fairchild and George Wendt. And as always, stay safe and watch some damn football. There's 4 more games. And yes, subscribe. I don't know what like does, but subscribe helps. Please subscribe.
And enable notifications so you know when.
Yeah, ring that bell, and also leave a comment, and feedback is good. Okay, well, we got to get to be watching some football, so we'll all talk to you later. Here it is, 5:15 in the p.m. here in the city of Baltimore. All right, good evening for now.